my name is Mike Garassi. I am the lead flight instructor with Cape Air. I'm going to bring you through how we train pilots to do single pilot operations at Cape Air. The students will start with a home study program where they'll be on their computers where they can work at their own pace at home. After they've completed that program, they'll come in for 4 days of ground school in which we'll cover systems of the aircraft and the operations of the airline. After the completion of ground school, we have a flow trainer that for single pilot operation we do a lot of flows, and this is what we use for a flow trainer. They'll start off with everything from a before starting flow to shutdown and everything in between, a takeoff, a cruise flow, a in-range flow before landing. Everything that we do in the aircraft or in the cockpit, well, the flows would start right here, and the pilot would come in and do the flows on this paper tiger sheet, and before they would even go into the simulator, so that we know that all the flows were memorized. First things we're doing in the simulator are the VFR procedures and just normal flows that we'll do on a normal pattern or a stall series in the simulator before we get into the aircraft. Then we'll go out and master those in the aircraft. We'll come back into the simulator and we'll do emergency procedures. After the emergency procedures are down pat, we'll go back out into the airplane, and then we'll come back and we'll combine the IFR flying with the emergencies. The point of using the simulator is the student is using 80% of their brain on just keeping the airplane up straight and 20% on the flows and procedures that we have. If they can do that, then we know that they're ready for the aircraft.
One of the things that we're actually really proud of here is the quick reference handbook for the Cessna 402. It is something that you aren't going to find in any other operator like ours. You might find them in jet operators. Mostly you'll see this in large transport aircraft. This is something that we did in the last couple of years to really give the pilots the tools that they need, to give the training department the tools that they need to better train the pilots, to shorten the training time and make it more worthwhile. One of the things that you'll notice is this. Some of the planes that we've received over the years actually have this. It's part POH, part quick reference handbook, part emergency procedures. And this really isn't very useful. Try finding an emergency procedure doing single pilot IFR at night in icing conditions when you have to pull it out to troubleshoot a gear problem. Not very useful. The next thing is this pilot's abbreviated checklist, which is what we had in the aircraft for a number of years, probably since we started as an airline 20 years ago. A pretty good reference. The thing is, it was designed, or rather put together, in 1984, really before human factors came into its heyday. There's one particular checklist for an alternator failure. You start out with electrical load reduce, and then it says if circuit breakers are tripped, and then it gives you a list of things to do. Turn the alternators off, reset the circuit breaker, turn on the left alternator, and then you come down, it says turn off the left alternator, and then repeat steps C through E for the right alternator. We have seen in training, with one pilot in particular, in training, he got into a loop, came down, said go back to the right alternator, he came back up to the top, came back down again, and kept doing it for the left alternator. We went through a lot of different ways to try to make this checklist more user-friendly, to make it easier for the pilot to go through. And what we ended up with was a flow chart for the pilots to go through. And really it starts out with some pretty big, bold font and makes it just very simple. Are the alternator circuit breakers open? Yes or no. If the answer is no, then you flip over. And they're able to go through the items for the left alternator and then the right alternator and so on until they reach the end of the checklist. One of the things that we disliked about the way that this book was put together is if you have an engine failure after takeoff, it shows you your box memory items, followed by the other items, and then have to go several pages later and flip through the book to get to the engine operative landing checklist, where in this book it is immediately following it. Engine failure after takeoff, you complete your box memory items, you finish the other items, and then it goes right into the engine operative approach and landing so that you don't have to flip around, and it's much easier for the pilot to navigate through the checklist. So that's just a very good example of one of the reasons why we did this, and one of the reasons why when we completed it, we shared it with our partners at the FAA and they approved it.
If you'd like to find out more about Cape Air, you can go online to flycapeair.com and find out what our requirements are and apply online. Thanks for watching. As far as our flows, our systems on the aircraft, and she just walked into the room. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
After, you're going to trip, so, run our airline, and what else do we do? And the store is locked.